In an interview today, Ben Simmons made a comment that has yet again thrown Sixer fans into oblivion.
Perfect.
I have to tell you, man, this has been literally the weirdest off-season ever. We're up here, right, laughing, joking around. We're talking about signing a bunch of centers and the James Harden situation and Daryl Morey trolling Sixer fans with the whole crumble cookie to buy situation. And guess what? We have more ammunition on top. Bring it back around town. I did not think we would be sitting here at this point talking about you-know-who. 2-5 himself, Ben Simmons, but all of the real NBA heads out there listening know there is one point in the NBA offseason where you know that you have hit rock bottom in terms of content, and it happens when Ben Simmons is dropping a jump shot video. First off, welcome into the show. RB here, Philly Take with RB. You know the drill. Hit the like button if you enjoy the content. Be sure to subscribe, ring the bell, drop a comment down below right now. I can't believe I am saying this. I can't believe it. I don't even want to ask it. But if you are a Sixers fan out there listening in, would you ever entertain, it feels weird to say, would you ever entertain the idea of trading for Ben Simmons? Trading James Harden back to the Brooklyn Nets for Ben Simmons. I can't believe we have gotten to this point. But what happened yesterday, old Benny boy in a jump shot video in the offseason. Look, just one little jumper there. At least they're learning, right? At least they didn't put any more footage in of them. But the jump shot video comes out yesterday, and that means we are at the bare bottom here in the NBA offseason. Hopefully just a few more weeks, but then all hell breaks loose today. That is right, because Ben Simmons sits down with Marc Spears on an interview on Andscape, and he talked about a bunch of stuff. We do not have time to go over all of it. I promise. It is an extensive interview. Go check it out. But we will hit on some main points from this. However, I went and put out one of the main quotes from the article, and I can't even tell you how many messages I've received in the last couple hours. I don't know if it's trolls or I don't know if it's legit, like we need to do this. Comments saying that the Sixers should bring back Ben Simmons. People are feeling sorry for him. I don't know what's going on, okay? But let's talk about the article before I lose my mind. Now, I mean, if you don't know what happened with Ben Simmons, you got to go back and do some research. But essentially, the way it ended was not pretty at all. And really, it comes down to two things. Number one, Ben Simmons never worked on his game. He showed up in a playoff series and did nothing to contribute offensively. And the whole mental breakdown thing happened. And he passed it off in Game 7. And the fans who, keep in mind, had supported him for years, completely went awry. And Ben Simmons ended up sitting out for a year, and he just has never been able to recover health-wise. Well, let's look at the first quote here in this article. He says, "For me to come back this year and dominate people will be great. I don't intend to come back the same player I was last season because that's not even close to where I am. I get excited because I'm like, damn, I would blank on the player I was last year, but I know where I was at last year, so it's easy to say that. It's just fun to go out there, do the thing you love when you're out there. I don't ask for too much. Sometimes I think about my recent struggles. I'm like, damn, that's a lot. Sometimes I sit down and break it down. That was exhausting. I was having to deal with all that, but I feel like there are different situations you can handle, and this is a good test for me. How much worse can it get? How much worse can it get? I'll be honest, man, the decline of Ben Simmons going from the number 1 overall pick, really having hype and comparisons to the guys like LeBron to where he's at now, it is insane, right? I was a huge Ben fan. I was a huge Ben guy, and just to see how it all went down, and I covered every bit of that story from beginning to end right here on this show. It was honestly pitiful. It was a pitiful story. And man, just to see where he's at, look, I hope he gets better physically. He talked a lot in this interview about getting better health-wise. I hope he does. I hope he does heal as a person, right? You don't want anybody to go through that stuff. But the one issue I still have with Ben, even in this interview for the most part, he just never has taken accountability for the way that he folded a couple years ago and the way he handled that situation. But man, stick around because you do not want to miss the comment coming up. Anyway, Marc Spears asked him, does he go on YouTube and look at his old highlights of being an all-star and an all-NBA and all-defensive player? He says, definitely there are times I do. I get clips from certain people. It's funny because myself, I know how I feel. So people will try to do it as motivation. I know who I am. I'm not where I need to be. I know that's where I need to get to an all-star level, all-NBA. I know what it takes, which is the fun of it. I don't want anything easy. That's why you like fishing. It's fun to chase, or you want bigger fish, whatever it is, you got to learn what it takes to get there. He says all these things, right? He paints this beautiful picture every offseason, and he never does it, right? Remember last offseason on JJ's podcast, how he was going to get back to this, and that, and then nothing of it ever, transpired. Nothing of it ever came to life. It didn't manifest or anything like that. So that's where Ben Simmons is at. The next quote. And here's where it starts to get juicy. Marc asks him, people are obsessed with you from a shooting standpoint. What part of your game are you working on? He says, touch shooting, pull up, spot up threes, just everything. When I'm allowed to be who I am and move how I need to move, I will be in a good place. The sky's the limit. Just building my confidence each day. The only way I'm going to get my confidence is reps, and getting shots up. I am excited. Look, man, I mean, again, this is just crazy where he went from being supported by Philadelphia. All he had to do was develop his offensive game, work on his shot. I knew he had some type of jump shot. He just never did it in game. And that's also on the Sixers for babying him and not ever making him develop and just treating this guy like a celebrity. In fact, he talked in this article about how he's been staying in Miami because he's tired of the LA celebrity life. Well, guess what? Bingo. Even though you're 26, 27 now, you finally grew up a little bit, Ben. You finally grew up. And I want to forgive you bad, but I can't. I can't because you screwed up the whole Sixers future. And ever since, it has been bad, right? All you had to do was play up to your potential, not even all the way up to your potential. Just be a solid player and continue to get better and help Joel Embiid and help this team. But your attitude, your drive was never there. You got, swooped in by the rest of the lifestyle and didn't work on your game. And that's the result of where you're at today. And people want to say, oh, well, he's just been injured ever since 2021. Why is he injured? Because he sat out an entire year trying to make a stance and trying to make a point. He sat out an entire season. Then your body trying to get back to game shape, get accustomed to that, is not going to be ready. And he's been injured ever since. It sucks for him, but that's what happens when you're not competing at that level. So Marc says to him, I hear swagger, I hear confidence in you that I haven't heard in a while. Am I wrong? And he says, I put so much work in. I know where I'm at. Give me another month until training camp. I'm blessed to have the time. I feel I'm going to have less time, but I'm using each day as an opportunity to get better. There's no other option. People ask me, there's no other option. I have to kill. That's all I can do. And then bingo, here we go. He asks him about Philadelphia, and here's what Ben had to say. And man, did it stir up a lot today. He says, I had a lot of fun there. It was time for me to go. When I did leave, it was good timing. Obviously, the injury and everything that was going on didn't help, but I think it gave me a chance to really appreciate it. I'll always have love for Philly. People always ask me, if you were to get traded again, where would you want it to be? I always say Philly. Philly is a second home to me. And in time, you learn and grow as people. I don't have anything bad to say about Philly. It was a crazy situation at the end, but it is what it is. It is so poetically comical that he ends this off by saying it is what it is, because that's exactly how he ended off Game 7 presser in pure disappointment. It is what it is, talking about his individual stats. Just a bad look. Has he grown up a little bit? Maybe. But the fact that he says he would want to come back to Philly, Ben Simmons back to Philly? No, that's a hard pass for me. And then all these people on Twitter, I don't know if they're joking around or not, but I think Sixer fans have been tossed into oblivion. They've hit the point of no coming back this offseason. They have a lot of questions, little answers. They don't know what's going to happen with James Harden. And people are actually saying to me they would welcome Ben Simmons back. Would you? Would you take him back? Here's what he had to say about Game 7 in the loss. Marc said, do you reflect on that? And Ben Simmons says, I don't even remember the game anymore. To me, I made a play. I gave it to somebody who's probably going to shoot better from the free throw at that moment of the game. What? You had a layup wide open under the basket, Ben, against Trae Young. Stop it. That wasn't the factor of the game. You can go back and look at different things where it could have been better. For me, shooting the free throws was one of them, but it didn't happen. That's just something you keep working on. That's like a little sliver of accountability, but where's it been the last couple years? And he talks about Brooklyn. In fact, Brooklyn doesn't even have a spot from him anymore. They don't have a spot for him on the roster. It's an awkward fit. And he even says he wants to be a point guard. He's not switching to another position. And there's a huge, a thing in the rest of the article just about his situation and where he wants to be in all this. But we look at some of these comments, man, and I'm serious. These people want to do a reverse trade. I say absolutely not. And no, thank you. I do not want Ben Simmons back on this team. And if you're out there and you're saying to me, you need to forget and forgive and all this stuff, no, I cannot forgive until the Sixers win a championship because, first off, if Ben ever found a way to come back on this roster, the city would explode. They would not let it happen. And number two, he is pretty much the main reason why this team has had the downfall they have. He's not the only reason. There have been a lot of other mistakes. And one of those mistakes is drafting him at the top, given some of the questions surrounding his character and leadership. Maybe he's grown up a little bit, but no, I would not trade anything. I wouldn't take him back for free. So that's where I'm at with it. I can't believe we had to do a whole video today about Ben Simmons commenting, but there are people who want to trade for him back. So give me your thoughts. Would you do that? Would you take a flyer on a Ben Simmons second go around in Philadelphia? Give me your thoughts down below in the comments section. Hopefully we get past this dead point of the offseason very soon because I don't know how much more I could take it. Like, comment, subscribe. Give me your thoughts down below. Appreciate you all, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.